raining Brussels sprouts. Oh my God. I could eat this whole bowl. That's how good they are. All right, who loves Brussels sprouts? A lot of people love Brussels sprouts. I love them too, especially when they get slightly crispy. I put a bunch of cheese and some balsamic vinegar to make them sweet. So what we do is clean the Brussels sprouts, take the bottoms off, and just peel off some of the leaves, the outer leaves. You can wash them. I don't wash them, to be honest. I just kind of take the outer leaves off that look bruised and trim them and clean them up that way. You cut the Brussels sprouts in half or in quarters if they're really big, and you put them on a sheet pan. The thing I love about this recipe is that it's super fast, especially during Thanksgiving when you're making lots and lots and lots of dishes. You want side dishes that are fast and impactful with lots of flavor. And some salt. And I like a lot of salt because I like things to taste really good. And then you toss them all together. Once they're all coated, we'll put them in the oven, 450, so really hot. We're gonna put them in there for 25 minutes, then we'll pull them out, and we're gonna glaze them with a little bit of rich balsamic vinegar, straight from Italy. Spread them out, okay? Because if you don't spread them out, then they'll steam. And you don't want them to steam, so you wanna spread these babies. A little Band of Soleil tan on these guys. They're going to Saint-Tropez. Let's go. So as you can see, I roasted the Brussels sprouts. I like them nice and dark. So instead of putting them in the middle rack, I put it at the top rack, closer to the heat, so I get them really dark and crispy. So it's time to toss them with a little bit of balsamic. So this balsamic vinegar is thick, it's syrupy, it's like caramel. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna toss it a couple tablespoons, and sometimes a little bit more. The best balsamic vinegar in the world is in Modena. This one was aged in an oak barrel, so it gives it a little bit of oakiness. So now that they're all tossed, spread them out again because you don't want them to steam. They have to have room. Back in the oven for 5 minutes until the balsamic vinegar gets really syrupy and thick. Costume change. When I was doing my cooking shows, I used to have 2, sometimes 3 of the same outfits in case, like today, pomegranate juice squirts all over my shirt. Now I don't have that, so this is my new wardrobe. We're gonna finish the recipe like this. We're just gonna take all the Brussels sprouts, and you can see that they're really crispy. Use flake salt, Maldon salt, because now they're slightly sweet, so you want a little bit of salt on top. Some pecorino romano, just ever so slightly melts on the Brussels sprouts. To make them super holiday and super festive, these little buggers, and be very careful with these guys because if they hit your shirt, they will stain your clothes. So then for just some color, some pomegranates. I love pomegranates during the holiday season. I love putting them on salads. I put them in my stuffing, you name it, I love them. They're so pretty, they're like little red jewels, and to me, they brighten everything up. This is your side dish. Balsamic glazed Brussels sprouts. I could eat this whole bowl. That's how good they are. Slightly sweet and crunchy. And then you see how the pecorino, salty pecorino kind of melts on top. And a little burst of freshness. These are a touchdown! Okay, that was, okay, I'm done. So I showed you how to make a balsamic roasted Brussels sprouts. Super easy, fast, and at Thanksgiving, that is number 1 on my list. But now I'm gonna show you a whole other way to serve Brussels sprouts. This can be an appetizer or it can be a side dish, and it's super fun. It's my bacon and bourbon Brussels sprouts. We are going to just throw the bacon, and this is these are like big slab of bacon. And what we're gonna do is put them in the oven and start rendering some of that fat, because then we're gonna skewer the Brussels sprouts and the bacon and put a dark, deep brown sugar and a bourbon glaze over the top. They're insane, absolutely insane. Let's go put these in the oven. I put it on the top shelf, and it's gonna get nice and brown. For 10 minutes. All right, let's get the rest done. So I have about 15 medium-sized Brussels sprouts, and I'm gonna trim them. Little baby serrated knife, and I cut the bottom off, and I take some of the leaves off, cleaned and trimmed. And Brussels sprouts are sort of Jade and Shane's favorite side dish. Let's get them in some boiling salted water. We're going to boil them for until they're like slightly tender, about 5 minutes or so. Then we'll cut them in half. And once the bacon's done, we start to skewer. Time for the glaze. This glaze is insane. You're gonna wanna brush it on everything. Your turkey, pour it on mashed potatoes, I'm telling you, it's that good. So we're using 4 tablespoons of butter, which I'm gonna melt right now. 1 once we do that and it's melted, we're gonna add the dark brown sugar, 1/3 cup. We're basically making like a bourbon caramel almost. You want to make sure that the Brussels sprouts stay nice and green, a nice vibrant green color. So you don't want to overcook them. Butter's melted. Now we're going to add 2/3 of a cup of whatever brand of bourbon you like. I love the smell of the bourbon. That's a good sound. Now we're going to let this cook on low heat for about 8 minutes until it gets nice and thick. Just make sure that the sugar dissolves into the bourbon. And I like the bourbon with this because it has also like a little depth of molasses, so it kind of works really well with the brown sugar. You see how beautiful and green they still are? That's how you want to keep them. 5 minutes should do the trick because you're going to finish cooking them on the actual grill. When Jade was little in elementary school, every year she used to design a plate. I think this is like 3rd grade. Every time I use them, it just reminds me of Jade being a little kid, little baby. Now she's 15. No longer a baby. Brussels sprouts are donezo. So we're gonna let them cool slightly, then we're gonna cut them in half. It's starting to look a little golden, but we don't wanna get too golden because we're gonna put it on the grill. This is a good amount.
Hi, Brianna. Hi.
So what you wanna do with the sauce, it's really very easy. The whole idea of the sauce is just to simmer it long enough for the sugar to melt and for the whole sauce to sort of be really smooth, right? You see how the liquid is just really smooth? You can't sort of see the difference between the butter, the sugar of the bourbon. So that's what you want it to be like. Take the Brussels sprouts, you cut them in half. And you just want to make sure they're not too hot to hold. It's a cruciferous vegetable. Really good for you.
Well, what's your favorite food to cook during the holidays and Thanksgiving?
Cornbread is my favorite. Cornbread and cranberry sauce.
Is it because it's fun to cook, or is there a memory behind it?
Because I just love cornbread for some reason. As for Thanksgiving, well, you know, funny enough, I didn't really celebrate Thanksgiving till I was older, like in my 20s. Jade's dad, being from Michigan, I started celebrating with him because my family just didn't do anything for Thanksgiving. So let's start skewering. We're gonna start with Brussels sprout, and then we grab a piece of bacon. And as I was saying, I didn't celebrate Thanksgiving till I was older because we just didn't celebrate it. It's not an Italian holiday, and so my parents didn't see the point of celebrating it. As I got older, we started celebrating, and I have to say that a lot of the times when we would go to my Aunt Raffi would make the turkey and the mac and cheese and the mashed potatoes because she did a baked mashed potato with peas in the middle so she could make it the day before. Then I would make all desserts. But nowadays, I actually do all of the Thanksgiving. Look how cute these are. Little manageable. So you can see how they can be a great little appetizer, but they also make a great little side. The thing that I didn't love about Thanksgiving at Raffi's, hopefully Raffi won't see this, I know she was trying to help herself out by making everything in advance, but what happens is everything's really dry. So the mac and cheese was always super dry. Everything was super dry. I think like there's certain things you can make in advance and there's certain things you just can't. It's just nice to all be together. We're just having a bacon party over here.
We're just
come on over. Happy Thanksgiving.
So
I like to grill outside. I live in California. It's pretty warm. It's beautiful weather most of the time of the year. So I like to grill outside. For this particular dish, I am using a grill pan. And I'm putting it on my actual grill because bourbon, little syrup, if it goes, it becomes a mess at the bottom of my barbecue. So to avoid that, I'm going to use a grill pan outside. But you can definitely do this on your stove in your kitchen. And we're just cooking them slightly, but really it's about coloring them and giving them a little bit of that smokiness from being on the grill. So we put them on here and then we put the glaze over it. The heat of the grill will sort of create this nice crust. We're going to let them sit in it for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to turn them around. Just make sure that all of the skewers are touching the base of the grill pan. They're looking great. So we're going to pour a little bit of the glaze right over the top of them. Yeah, baby. Sweet Brussels sprouts. Got them sweet, and they still have a little bit of bite to them, which is really important that you don't overcook them. Do those not look amazing? All right, for anybody who doesn't love Brussels sprouts, this will turn you into a Brussels sprout lover. Bourbon, brown sugar, bacon. I just have them. And there's a sweet crust on the Brussels sprouts and the bacon. It's my go-to for Thanksgiving, but these are great all winter long. Happy Thanksgiving, you guys. Let me know which Brussels sprout recipe you actually make.